Sunny ways, my friends. Sunny ways.
Your 16 seconds are up. I'm going to ask you again because nobody believes you when you say you don't know how much money your family has got from the wheat group. You've had a month to look into that. You knew you were going to testify here. Again, how much money total have your brother, mother, and spouse received from this organization? How much?
That information has been publicly shared, but I will highlight.
Well, then tell me what it is.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
We have recently switched to drinking water bottles out of water out of when we have water bottles out of plastic. Away from plastic towards paper, like drink box water bottles, sort of thing. Sorry,
the servicing costs on the debt that you're going to have to carry that you're adding to now, right?
Interest rates are at historic lows, Glenn.
Where's the funds?
On the topic, I mean, in terms of your sort of strategy currently, you're obviously taking the populist pathway.
What does that mean? Oh, Justin, you're awake. You made it. Have a seat. Have a coffee. You need some. Wakey time.
Let's cut that Disney Plus subscription. So we cut it. It's only $13.99 a month that we're saving, but every little bit helps.
A lot of people would say that you're simply taking a page out of the Donald Trump book.
Which people would say that?
Well, I'm sure a great many Canadians, but...
Like who?
I don't know who, but...
Well, you're the one who asked the question, so
yeah.
You must know somebody. Yeah, that's all that's coming off. There's nothing else coming off, yeah. I'm not Justin Trudeau here. Let's fucking go!
Let's fucking go.
Knockout!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. Welcome to Friday Night Fringe here on the channel. We're off to a great start already, you guys. Get those LFGs in the chat. It's great to see you all here. Joined, of course, by, as I say all week long, my beautiful wife, Mrs. Fringe. How are you? It's good to have you back.
I'm good. How are you?
It's always good to have you here for the streams. It's always good to have you in here. You keep things grounded, and boy, do we need to be grounded tonight.
We do, yeah.
A lot's happened this week, guys. We're going to get into a lot tonight. There's a lot to talk about. Get those LFGs in the chat. Get those thumbs up in the video if you're watching from YouTube. If you're watching from another one of our simulcasted places, come into YouTube, give it a thumbs up. Help us get out there. We're getting hammered by YouTube this week. Boy, yeah. The shadow bans are real. We may talk about that a little bit tonight. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, let me know where you're at. Let's do a usual roll call. Let me know where you're watching from. If it's your first time here, let us know in the chat. And let's see if we can get somebody from every province in the country watching in this live stream. LFG, ladies and gentlemen, Pretty Weird Duck coming in from Calgary. Great to have you here. We've got Gemini Starshine coming in from Toronto, Ontario. We've got Brett coming in Winterville or Calgary. Sorry, but the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Grey Cup loss. Absolutely. We're sorry to see that as well. Welcome into the stream. It's great to have you here. We got Mike joining us once again from Sudbury, Ontario. We've got Sylvain Ray coming in from Quebec. Welcome in. We got some news about the province of Quebec tonight. We're going to get into that shortly as well. We've got Carol, member of the Patriots Club, coming in from Calgary, Alberta. Ingrid Stewart, it's Ingrid and Charlie from Okotoks. We're checking in. Always great to have you guys here. Welcome into the stream. We've got Mystical joining us once again from Calgary, currently fighting a giant chicken on top of the C-Train tunnel. Watch out for that giant chicken there, pal. It's great to have you here. Lee Bluen coming in from Edmonton. Welcome in. We've got Richard joining us once again, member of the Patriots Club from Cowtown. We got Carson joining us once again from Porno Viagra. Great to have you in here. It's always great to see our returning viewers back into the stream. We got Trudeau Zakami coming in from Calgary. Have to work. I'll be listening. Great. Always good to have you in here. Don't work too hard. If you're out on the roads, watch them. Stay safe. It's slick out there. Peggy coming in from snowy Saskatchewan. Welcome into the stream. Who else do we have here? Lyle coming in from Edmonton. Jennifer coming in from Victoria. We've got Joseph coming in from Raymond, Alberta. Doug in from Medicine Hat. OAO coming in from Dedmonton. We've got Faye coming in from Cornwall, Ontario. Mike from Ampere, Ontario. Welcome into the stream to all of you. Roxy from Vancouver Island. We've got Knight of Falima from Red Deer. Janet coming in from Belleville, Ontario. His testimony coming in from the Hammer. Welcome in. Great to have you here. We've got Arnold coming in from Western Alberta. Stand My Ground watching from Camrose area, Alberta as well. B3E coming in from Calgary. Welcome in. We've got Christina saying, live you from Red Deer. We live you too. Thank you for coming into the stream. It's great to have you here.
That's always my error.
I know. Listen, I got sausage fingers. I know what it's like to mistype. Don't think I'm mocking you. It's all good. Vance coming in from Cape Breton. We've got Send JD to Gaza coming in from Dave. I don't know if he'd probably thrive there, to be honest. Reg coming in from Spruce Grove, Alberta. Great to have you back in, Reg. Welcome to the stream. We've got Al with the LFGs from Saskatoon. We've got Doug chiming in, member of the Patriots Club from Terrace, BC. Welcome into the stream. We've got Marika coming in from Montreal, Quebec. Sean coming in from Brantford, Ontario. Luca from Burnaby, BC. We've got Birdie jumping in once again from Cowtown. Bryce coming in from E-Town, good old Edmonton. Welcome in. It's great to have you here. We've got Kathy and Chris coming in from Salmon Arm, BC. David joining us from Springfield, Missouri, USA. Shout out to our American viewers. We love you guys. Thank you for joining us tonight on The Fringe. Carolyn coming in from Simcoe, Ontario. Great to have you in. We've got Aline coming in from Sylvan Lake. Welcome into the stream. Eagle Hawk coming in with the LFGs as well. We got Jacques coming in from Coopus Casing, Ontario. Hit that like button. Couldn't agree more, folks. Let's see how high we can get the stream tonight. We've got John coming in from Mattawa, Ontario. Welcome in. We've got, let's see, Canada is a Corp coming in from Edmonton. We've got Lisa joining us from BC. It's great to have you here. We've got Eagle, Forest Glade, Nova Scotia. We've got Ted coming in from Victoria. Chris from Maple, Ontario. Brian coming in from Wasaga Beach. Hopefully it doesn't smell like poop too much. Welcome in. It's great to have you here. We've got Queen Esther joining us once again from Ontario. Great to have you in. Becca from Lloyd. A lot of familiar faces in here tonight. Keith coming in from Brampton, a.k.a. India 2.0. Yikes, you couldn't be any more farther from the truth. Or closer to the truth. I shouldn't say farther. That would be saying you're lying. It's no. Sorry. It's
been a long week.
It's been a long week. Airworks coming in from Kingston. We've got Jesse coming in from the Yukon. Back and better than ever. Welcome in. It's great to have you here. We've got M coming in from Sealy's Bay, Ontario. We've got who else? Resolute Ronan coming in once again from Chatham, Ontario. Great to have you back. Jeanette from New Brunswick checking in. Good to have you in the stream as well. We've got Joey reigning in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Welcome in. It's good to have you here.
I'd take rain over all this snow any day.
Absolutely. Robert in from Saskatoon. Bart coming in from, oh, wait, no, it's just his manifest destiny. Welcome in. Good to have you here. John P. from Mattawa, Ontario as well. Nelson Cade coming in from New Brunswick as well. Good to have you here. We've got Stephen Fication coming in from Alberta. Great to have you here. Arthur OK joining us once again from Black Diamond. Again, stay tuned, Arthur. Our guest, Dragon's Lair Machine, will be appearing on the show tonight for an interview. We didn't have time for Dragon's Lair Machine last week. It'll be in tonight, I promise. Jim V coming in from Brooks, Alberta. Guys, the list goes on and on and on. Lucas C with a $5 super chat got lamb chops and Suzuki ready to go. How many do you guys want?
Well, I'll take 2.
All of it. We'll take it all. Chris Shepard jumping in from Winnipeg as well, and Greg from Pouch Cove, Newfoundland. Guys, it's great to have you all in the stream. I'm sorry if I missed anybody who threw in their roll call. We're almost at 300 viewers strong going in on the simulcast, so get those thumbs up again in the stream if you're watching on YouTube. It always helps us. If you're not watching on YouTube, come in and subscribe anyways. It helps us. We're only, I think, 20 subscribers away from hitting 44,000 subscribers on the channel. And that, as Lee says, means it's time to crack a beer. It's Milla time. Welcome into the stream. It's great to have you guys. If you're not yet a member of the Patriots Club, keep in mind we will be doing a giveaway tonight, courtesy of Calendars That Curse. all the extra calendars that Kirst sent us, we'll be doing draws tonight. We'll be giving them away, and I will be finding somebody to ship those to you. Maybe you could do me a favor and grab some of those calendars from upstairs, and we can show those off as we're
Stop
getting
the
ready.
race cars from going all over
My
the
son
floor,
is dismantling the house upstairs. It just sounds like chaos. I'm sorry
where are they?
if the mic is picking that up. Let's get into what's going on tonight. In order to get into that draw, I should iterate. In order to be a part of that draw, you must be a part of the Patriots Club. It is only for Patriots Club members because you're supporting the channel. We want to support you guys. Again, calendars at Kirst sent us some amazing ones. Richard saying, what if we can't draw? That's okay. We'll make it up to you. So if you want in that draw, again, you have to join the channel, be a member of the Patriots Club, and we'll do that draw towards the end of the show. You must be in the stream if your name is drawn in order to win. If we don't hear from you within the stream, then we draw another name. So there's where we're going. Jevin saying, do you guys make the calendars that Kirst? No, we don't. They've sponsored the channel. They were nice enough to sponsor the channel this month. So we'll be gifting a large portion of the ones that they sent to us. So there we go. Savage Silence becoming a member of the Patriots Club. Savage, welcome in. Great to see you here. Colin P chiming in. Fringe, I'm here, but just getting on Highway 20 at Rimby. Don't want to miss my chance at the F Trudeau calendar. You're not going to miss your chance, Colin. Don't worry. We will be doing those draws tonight. Again, you must be in the stream. Stay listening if you can, and we'll call you guys out. And let's get going on with the stream because we're already 12 minutes in. And I know people come in and complain, holy, I had to watch you for 12 minutes. And you didn't say the subject of tonight's video. What's going on? Clearly, you don't understand what these streams are about. These are community nights. We hang out with the community. We share some news with you guys. And more importantly, we hear about what you guys want to say within these streams. Let's get into the news. Did you check the polls? Trudeau is going up in the polls. I've heard the opposite. I will check them. But I haven't heard that yet. Scott Jett saying, I don't qualify for the 250, but if I did, I would donate it to the Conservative Party or maybe Max and the PPC as they need to get some seats. If you guys follow Northern Perspective, if you don't, you should. Northern Perspective putting out a really good poll the other day mentioning the 250, saying, would you give up the 250 for the chance to call an election? Meaning, if you could surrender it and say, instead, we'll call an election, we'd rather that than this so-called break on the GST. Would you do so? I didn't have time to really look at the results of that poll, but I'm willing to bet it was an astounding yes. If you check Twitter, it was all over Twitter. People were saying, of course they'd give up their money. Of course they'd give up those supposed gift backs of those checks. One person had mentioned you'll probably have to pay it back at some point. But nonetheless, I've always said that if you're getting money back from the government, it means you're paying too much tax in the first place. Romanian Patriot with $5 super chat. Loads to cover in tonight's topics. Oh my days, FJT. We do have lots to get onto. Before we get into the main topic of discussion, which is Trudeau and his $250 vote buying scam.
Which is so generous. So generous.
Always got to give breadcrumbs to the peasants. We're gonna touch on a little of that. First, I want to touch on where Trudeau is today, given his.
Well, we've paid for it.
Given
right?
his, well, yeah, we definitely have paid for it. Let's take a look here. I can't play audio here because we'll get a copyright strike. But Trudeau apparently tonight, while we're all scrambling for a little break on the GST, while he's hanging out in Toronto at the Taylor Swift concert, trying to impress his daughter. So
who does not look impressed?
Who doesn't look impressed? If you remember when he was back at that hockey game, which is in our opener, and him clapping like a seal. I mean, look at him tonight trying to be model dad. Let's take a look at him dancing like a fool. There's JT with his daughter. His daughter's hiding her face in embarrassment.
He's like, come
on, dance with me. She's like, no, I don't want to. He's like, how about any of your friends? I hear if any of your friends are single, they should give me a call because I'm into the youngins. At least that's what we heard this week when we covered the possible allegations of Diddy tapes with Justin Trudeau. What a fool. What a fool is he's out there. My apologies that Mrs. Fringe keeps stepping out. Our children don't seem to grasp the fact that we're doing a live stream. It always happens when you're live. I want to touch down on what's happening in Montreal right now. We've talked a number of times about the Palestinian protests that go on in Montreal. Justin Trudeau has turned this country upside down. He has essentially turned our country into a war state. This post from the pleb saying Montreal residents are having their parked cars set on fire tonight over a war happening on the other side of the world. Our country is being destroyed over a conflict that doesn't even involve me or you. This is Trudeau's Canada. Are you fed up yet? I don't know about you guys. I'm fed up. I mean, look at this. Let's can't have the audio on there, but let's take a look. Look at what's going on here. Look at this. People are setting vehicles in Montreal on fire during these protests. Now, keep in mind, there's no emergency act being invoked.
Well,
Justin,
no, I mean, it's a peaceful protest.
Justin isn't stomping on anybody with his horses with the RCMP. Well, these guys light vehicles on fire. Keep in mind, these are the people who were yelling "Death to Canada" a couple of weeks ago, lighting our cars on fire, skirmishing with police. Police in Montreal scrambling to try and bring some order back to Montreal. Again, this is Justin Trudeau's Canada. This is what Canada's turned into. It's a war zone. All over a protest that doesn't involve us. Wars that don't involve us. And this is what open border policies do. This is what happens when you open the borders and say, everybody come here. We're not going to vet anybody. We're not going to have any security measures. No, you bring people here and they're allowed to just say, I'm offended all the time. They're allowed to cause whatever problems they like.
Say, please, come on in.
And this is where we end up at. This is Justin's Canada. I don't know about you guys, but I've never been more embarrassed at my country in my entire life. I love my country. I should say I'm more embarrassed of my government. Let's take a look at what the polls are saying. The GST is a nothing burger that we get for 2 months. It's a cost of $1.6 billion for them to set up the GST being taken away. The biggest problem with it, and we're going to get into it tonight, is that it's costing us $1.6 billion. It's not costing the government.
No.
We have to pay that back, whether you give it back all at once as a fee or like they did with the hurricane measures in the United States, or if it just comes off your taxes. One way or another, we're held accountable for that. Ingrid saying mainstream media doesn't tell anyone about this situation. Well, that's because, I don't know, again, if you've noticed, you get blacklisted. This channel is in a deep state of blacklisting purely because of what has happened under JT's rule. And if you don't believe me, I want to share something with you guys, because I don't normally talk about YouTube numbers. I don't ever talk about how, YouTube is affecting certain things. But I want to show you earlier today when I uploaded Pat King's video about him being found guilty. I want to show you the true measure of how YouTube is censored or censoring people on the internet. Now, on YouTube, when you upload a video, you can view on a chart what's called views per minute, your VPM. That tells you on average how many people are watching the video, how it's trending. It's all part of your analytics to know if you're on a good subject, if this is what your viewers like. I want to show you guys what happened here on today's Pat King video, and I'm not sure how much you guys can see there. Let's bring it up. This is a graph of what we saw on YouTube today as I did the Pat King video. Over the views of the last 60 minutes. When I launched a video, almost 90 views a minute. This is in the first 10 minutes of a video. 90 views a minute. And then instantly, because it's getting traction right off the bat, which it should be, they chop the views in half. And they never recovered. Much like this stream, they don't recover. They cut everything out because YouTube, of course, does not like people talking about the government. They don't want you talking about how bad things are. They don't want you talking about the truth. And when you try to make a living on YouTube, when you try to pay your bills, I mean, keep in mind, I know people say YouTube isn't a job. It's not. But as a stay-at-home dad, this is all I have for an income. And when you see the potential that a video starting out at 90 views a minute should average about 40 or 50,000 views by the time that video is done, I'll be lucky to break 10,000. They've literally over the last month chopped our revenue stream down to a third of what it normally is on the platform. And this is just the nature of the beast. Now, I'm not upset about the money. Money is money, but what I'm more upset about is the reason that this channel was made in the first place. It was made to get the information out. It's to beat the mainstream media. It's to give people the information, as Ingrid mentioned earlier, that the mainstream media refuses to give you guys. And companies like YouTube, Silicon Valley Pirates, are preventing you from getting that information. And people saying, well, go on to other platforms and talk about it there. I hate to break your news or bust your balls, but X has me just as shadow banned as YouTube does. And I pay for a membership on X. Rumble, while it's a good platform, just doesn't have the reach of other platforms.
And this is before the bill has come out.
This is before Bill C-63 has come out. And that's one thing I was going to allude to, is that this is the dangerous precedent we're setting when it comes to censoring people on the internet. YouTube at one point was an open and free platform until, adpocalypse. Now they censor everything. And this is where we're at. John saying the bill's very bad. You're living in a dictatorship at that point.
Yeah.
You can only view content your government deems worthy. Even currently, without the bill, they're suppressing videos. Now, how does YouTube do that? Well, they essentially blacklist the videos. I showed you on that graph. They cut the views in half because if the video doesn't get any reach, guess what? YouTube, as its algorithm, stops promoting the video. It stops pushing it out. It starts telling people this isn't worth watching, so don't put it out there and advertise it to people. And anytime you talk to them, anytime you reach out to their support, they just say, oh, we don't know what you're talking about. This doesn't exist. It doesn't happen.
We don't do that.
We don't do those things. They've told me we don't blacklist people or we don't shadow ban. There's no such thing as that. Yeah. Yeah, it is.
But there are other channels and other people who have told you that it very much does exist.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Big Water saying it straight up. We are living in a clown world, but the show goes on. I'm still going to make videos. I'm still going to put them out there. I don't care if they're getting shadow banned. We will move through this. We will get ahead. Other channels like Moose on the Loose, Northern Perspective, like everybody's views have dropped recently, except some of those channels have larger install bases for their audience that they check frequently, that they're always back on the channel. So anytime their views have gone down, they've stayed up because of people coming back regularly to check. So again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're enjoying the stream, this is why we always say get those thumbs up in there. It helps the stream. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel. We're constantly still building it up. Let's talk about the whole subject of tonight's stream. Justin Trudeau's breadcrumbs to the peasants. Now, Mrs. Fringe brought this to my attention. I didn't even realize it. I was sitting around here this week with good old Steve trying to get things.
I sent you a lot of stuff this week. I think I did good.
You sent a lot of stuff. Mrs. Fringe is always at work doing great reporting or research for our stories. And a lot of times we'll find stories that maybe don't make the cutting room floor that we talk about here.
Yeah.
That we can't make into videos because they'll be instantly shut down on YouTube.
I'll send you stupid stuff
but
too.
What we're seeing this week is she messages me and says, did you hear Justin Trudeau's giving you back $250 in April? I said, what? And she says, yeah, and he's cutting the GST. And I thought, oh, good. So
for 2 months,
so I thought,
cutting the GST.
If we buy our new house,
Nope.
if we have to pay for movers, if we're buying gifts for our kids for Christmas, if we're going to get groceries, that's great. The GST is getting cut. No, the GST is being cut on certain items like expensive gaming consoles and Christmas trees and finicky items like vegetable trays, and not your entire grocery list, just a little bit of it. In fact, a study through the article that we read earlier this week on our video showed that you're only going to save over the 2-month period an average of about $100. So while Justin Trudeau is out probably on our dime tonight at the Taylor Swift concert, enjoying himself.
So we're going to get this very huge perk from the government right before taxes are going to go up again next year.
Before we quadruple the carbon tax.
Yeah.
It's going to be insane.
So he can always go back to say, but I was so generous last month.
I don't know if this is America or Marika, but I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. $2 super chat. We live in South Park world. It'd be a lot funnier if we did. But I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. You bet you it's true. Unacceptable Fringe. I just started a new channel. I'm seeing the censorship. Canada RV. If Canada RV started a channel, guys, is it under your name on Canada RV?
Yeah.
Go join the channel.
Let
this guy's
us know.
Fantastic. Get in, join him, check out his content, give him a boost. Definitely deserves it. He is active in just about every political YouTube channel. Every time I go into a live chat somewhere, Canada RV is sitting in there. Great guy. Go give him a follow. Feel free to type the name. I know we can't post links in the stream, Canada RV, but put a name to the channel. And everybody look for it and go out there and support him. Give him a sub. If he thinks he'll win votes with that, he's very stupid. Well, that was the one thing we were going to get to.
I think if anything, it's pissed people off more. I don't think he's put in favor. I don't think anybody is saying, "Oh, yay, thank you. I'm so happy about this." Because it's really insulting.
This is Canada's let them eat cake moment.
Yes.
And this is our opportunity to rise up. Now, it's not going to happen because we've seen what happens when you dare question almighty dictator Trudeau.
Yes.
But I wonder, Resolute Ronan saying, I wonder how big of an army the homeless could form. Probably not much because, I mean, they don't have a lot of motivation. It's the ones that are truly homeless against their will because they're not, enjoying being homeless. There are some who enjoy being homeless. How do I say this? I'm already putting my foot in my mouth.
You are, so stop talking.
I don't think it would be very successful is all I'm going to say.
I mean, I keep telling you, we're one paycheck away from being on the streets, right?
Well, it's funny because even when we started talking about Christmas, when we started talking about who's doing Christmas this year, who's going to put forth the Christmas dinner, we always contact our family about doing a potluck because it's too expensive.
It's horrible.
It's too much for one person to muster.
It's costly. It's time consuming. It's stressful. I mean, there's many reasons.
Richard saying, I bet you all the invaders qualify for $250. Of course they do.
Of course they do.
Of course they do. And
anybody who's made under $150,000 in 2023
that was working. So seniors who were on pensions, they don't qualify.
No.
They don't get anything. So our seniors are left out in the cold. Anybody
on AISH.
So I won't get the benefit because I'm at home. Or technically, I guess I did.
You are working.
I did. I was working, but if I was just at home with the kids, I wouldn't get a check.
Nope.
Because I guess that doesn't have a monetary value. It's let them eat cake.
It is.
Justin Trudeau.
I'll give you a little nibble.
I want to show you guys a little bit from his conference because we saw Chrystia Freeland stand up literally at this press conference while she had this smug look on her face.
She had a smug look through the whole thing. It was just so condescending. It made me mad, honestly. Her sitting there and just with her face yeah, we're doing you a favor.
Well, again, let them eat cake. You peasants should be happy with what you're giving you. Trudeau's alter ego posting down here on Twitter, Chrystia was just adjusting my tampon. Honest. I looked at this video clip and I'm going to scroll down so you can see it, but I'm convinced there's a reason Justin Trudeau keeps Chrystia Freeland around. See if you can spot it. Here we go. There's his podium. Boop. Yeah, she pops up out of nowhere. Hey,
yeah, she doesn't have the lips for it.
I think that's Chrystia just earning her seat for another day. Let's maximize that. There she is. There's why Justin keeps Chrystia around, isn't it? Look how happy he looks. He's all, oh, good. You finished your job. There's
there.
You did what you were told. It's insane to me who is getting these benefits. And again, that our elderly are ejected from this, that they pretend like it's a big deal. More so over when the invaders are mentioned. I want to show this clip that came from the pleb. Let's take a look at this. He says, Canadian newcomer out begging for money while hiding their fancy iPhone. Take a look at this. I've often said this when you see the people scamming at stores saying they're homeless, they need money. They're always dropped off by vehicles, and half of them aren't even homeless. They're just scamming the system.
The people looking for gas money because, my car broke down.
Yeah, take a look at this.
Everywhere. They're just...
Zooming in. There's her sign saying, I'm homeless, can't afford anything. And right behind it, you see her on her phone? See her on her iPhone? Yep. You sure look destitute, right? While you're checking your Instagram follows, begging for money. These people don't have any shame. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. I don't know what to make of this. this needs, and I've said it for a long time, cities need to start making this kind of panhandling illegal. It has to be some form of an offense. You can get pulled off the street. I understand it's a public road.
It is illegal to give to panhandlers. You could get fined. There is a ticket for it. But for them to actually be doing it, I mean, the only thing they would get charged for, get a ticket for, is if they're soliciting, where they shouldn't be.
Wait, Canada RV saying you can unban my main channel? You had it banned? I didn't realize. I've never banned Canada RV. That, no.
Oh.
Why would I? It has to be a mistake. I'm not saying this because I'm wearing egg on my face. I don't remember banning anything Canada RV. Whatever your main channel is, let me know. I will happily look into that. I didn't know. That can't be possible. I'm not saying you're wrong, but it has to be a mistake of some kind. Unless it was clicked by accident or something. Like, wow.
In the doghouse now.
I like Canada RV.
You're in the doghouse.
I just gave him props. It's yeah. Let's get into the comments here. I stand my ground saying that's disgusting. She's poor, but she can have $1,000 iPhone. Yeah. When I was in Stony Plains, they have them like that outside begging. We see it around here all the time.
Yeah, I mean, we see them being dropped off every corner in a section, and then they switch around. It's
Airworks saying, wait, what? It is illegal to give money to beggars? No, I'm saying it should be.
No, I'm pretty sure it is.
Is it?
In Calgary, I'm pretty sure it is.
Because they're on the streets doing this all the time. And the problem I have isn't with the homeless. It's not with people that are trying to survive.
Absolutely not.
It's scam artists.
It's the fake homeless.
That have no sense of shame, that don't mind.
Don't feed the pigeons.
Doing that. It makes it hard, because when I see somebody who's legitimately struggling, you know, and you start questioning, should I just give them a couple bucks? But then you go, but what if they're lying? You know, like, where do you have to decide you're going to take that chance?
Yeah.
Can you take my main channel out of the ban bin?
We'll look into it.
Throw the main channel, throw the name of that main channel in here, and I'll do that. Because again, I must have done it by, it's the same as this. Well, then how come you're not banned on here? I'll look into it, Canada RV. My apologies. It has to be an error. I must have done it out of error. And I'm not BSing anybody. I talk with
Miss Fringe is not very happy.
Miss Fringe is not happy.
Doghouse.
I'm sure I am. I'll look into it. I will definitely look into it. If there's some kind of discrepancy that it's been done, I can assure you it wasn't intentional. I'll fix it. I am error. He said, yes. There's a good old Zelda reference for you.
Eric was drunk that night.
John P saying, shaky lady in Toronto, look it up. She scammed so hard, picked up my BMW, picked up by a BMW, and what does it say there?
I'm brought to Manson.
Brought to a mansion, I'm assuming that says. We've seen it all the time. We've seen it in our Walmart parking lot, or our local Walmart.
Yeah.
Like, there's guys outside with their dogs,
Walmart,
with
Safeway,
small animals.
Costco, it's
yeah,
all,
and they shift from store to store, because there's a large shopping complex down where we live. And they'll say, you know, I'm poor, I need help, I can't eat, I can't anything.
You got hit up by the same person 2 days in a row asking for $5 in gas.
With a jerry can.
Yeah.
Because he came to us one day and says, I'm out of gas, I need help, and I didn't carry cash. But a lot of people don't carry cash anymore.
No.
But I said, no, I don't have any cash on me, I'm sorry. And then the next day, we forgot to pick up dog food or something and went back to the store. He comes up to us in the parking lot again and gives us the whole pitch again. Same spiel. And I said, boy, you must lose gas a lot or forget to fill up. And he stopped and said, excuse me. And I said, well, you talked to us yesterday about the same thing. And he kind of just stood there blank faced and then turned around and said nothing and left. It's people with no shame I have a problem with. Because keep in mind, we pay tax on all of our money.
We do.
And they pay none.
Nope.
When they get these handouts.
And they make more a day than most very good paid employees.
I heard one of these guys in a parking lot claiming that to their friend that they make an average of $400 a day doing this. $400 a day is $160,000 a year if they were to get that every single day, 365 days a year. 6-figure salary. And all you have to do is throw your pride out the window and have no shame. Have no shame. Of course, Justin Trudeau, when we get back to the scammers, I want to highlight Trudeau and his silly behavior during this week when he was doing his wonderful cringe announcement about what happened with this $250 refund and the slashing of GST. Justin, of course, hanging out in a grocery store trying to get his photo ops. Take a look at this, because this is where Trudeau shows his true colors. This is somewhere I wanted to highlight this. Justin Trudeau showing his true colors. Any normal person, now this is just an accident. I don't want to sound like oh, look at what he did. But I'm showing you that this is the kind of person Justin is. We all know this, but this just reiterates it. Standing in a grocery store for his photo op. He knocks over a case of beer on the floor.
I didn't even see this.
And he doesn't bother to attempt to pick any of it up, because why would he get his hands dirty? Why would he touch anything?
He paid people to do that.
He doesn't even apologize. He just goes, oh, it was on the edge over here and fell. Again, I don't want to play the audio just in case. The reason I'm not playing the audio, we get hit with a lot of content ID strikes on the live streams. I just got to be careful. But here we go. Here's Trudeau standing here. There's the beer dropping on the floor. And there it is. He doesn't bother to move the box out of the way or say, oh, can I help? Can we get somebody to clean this up? Nope. Just turns around and walks away with the group of people he's with, because he's too good for that, right? Justin doesn't care when these things happen because it's not on his time. There he is. Oops, whoopsie. Oh, there's the beer. Oh, no big deal, guys. Let's just go. Let's go this way. Out of the way. Let the peasants pick it up. That's who we're giving the $250 checks to, right? The peasants. But then what you can see afterwards is him in this grocery taking his selfies upstairs in the office to make sure he's there for the right reasons, right? He's in there making sure everybody can see him, that, oh, look at all the good I'm doing for everybody. He doesn't care about anybody in this grocery store. He doesn't care about working class Canadians.
No.
He's there for his selfie. Now, we all knew these things. I can see people screaming at the monitor already. Fringe, we already knew he doesn't care about everybody. I get it.
It shocks me.
I get it. But it's to show you that this is the narcissist kicking back in. That when he sits there and says, well, we're trying to help Canadians. We're trying to give you back your measly $100 so you can crawl through the holidays. That $100 you're saving in GST isn't going to do jack. That doesn't even get you a tank of gas. If Justin Trudeau really cared about Canadians, why don't you take away the GST on everything? And then the government absorbs that, not the taxpayers. What if by chance you didn't give us a rebate, but instead got rid of the carbon tax for, I don't know, December till March?
But he literally said this week, we should all starve and not heat our houses.
Don't feed your kids because climate change is more important. Did you guys see that clip? Jeff saying, so you get $350? No, we get $250, but they've said that roughly if you spend between $1,000 to $2,000 during this GST break, you're going to save about an average of about $100 over the 2-month period. So it's a $250 check and then whatever you save. If you're going to spend thousands on Christmas trees and board games and video game consoles, then I guess you'll save more.
$125 maybe.
You might save $125. John saying he just enjoys people suffering. Of course he does.
He doesn't care. His pockets are filled. What did we care?
Pretty weird Duck saying I spent $55 on gas today. I filled my tank a quarter of a tank this week. It was just below a quarter. It was 3/4 of a tank full. And I thought I'll just top off the car. $75.
And we don't drive a gas guzzler.
No. John B saying the same thing that Northern Perspective was polling about. I'd give my $250 back if we had an election.
I like that.
I would happily give it up. In fact, they should almost take a poll of people for that.
100%.
Those who get this $250 will probably have to repay it like CERB, probably. Well, one way or another, Carla, we are paying it back because it's resulting in $1 billion worth of debt, almost $2 billion in debt. So one way or another, we're paying it back. I'd rather just not get anything at all.
Yeah. It's not like Ralph Bucks, where we actually had money to give
Ralph Klein, if you don't know what Ralph Bucks are, when Ralph Klein was premier, we had a surplus.
away.
So he said, well, we're taxing you too much. Everybody gets this much money back. That's all it was. He gave it back to the people and said, we taxed you too much. Take your money back. Why aren't they doing that for us?
Yeah.
Oh, what? Because we're running a deficit.
Yes.
Because they can't
We're
stop
always
spending.
going to run a deficit.
They can't stop spending. John saying it's time Alberta leaves Canada. I mean, I'm not a major separatist. I'm not, because I love my country. I love Canada. I hate the government. So here's my concern is that if you push to leave Canada and Alberta becomes an independent country or annexed into the United States, whatever they do, you're just getting another form of government. And who's to say that they're going to be any better?
Well, it's Trump, so.
If you join the U.S., we're not going to join the U.S. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But for anybody who talks about Alberta separatizing, I mean, Snatch says it here. Alberta cannot survive without the rest of Canada. I don't think the rest of Canada, though, could survive without Alberta. I mean,
Quebec, certainly not.
I talked about that on a video this week when we showed just how much GDP and money Alberta brings to the table. We're the main contributor out of all provinces, that if Alberta left Canada, the country would fold. It would be bad for both. I'll leave it at that. I don't want to tout my horn and say Alberta's better than everybody. Suck on it. But the reality is, when you look at the billions of dollars that Alberta brings in revenue, that they pay in transfer payments to other provinces, that they give to the federal government, they contribute to the GDP.
Okay, we give most of it to Quebec.
Well, in terms of transfer payments, yes, the majority does go to Quebec. But when you add it all up, if Alberta were to leave, Canada would be screwed. Trump may have to save us all. There you go. Romanian Patriot. Again, Alberta's Little Texas, True White North.
Yep.
There you go. I'm up for separating from Canada, says Iron Maiden. Yeah, Canada would be screwed if Alberta left, but Alberta would have its own hurdles to cross. I get what Snatch is saying, and I'm not trying to say that Master Snatch is wrong. He's not wrong that Alberta would be in trouble. Part of the problem is we would have to figure out real quick how we're going to move our bitumen and our oil. Because if you can't move it into the other Canadian provinces, if the country said, well, if you're going to leave, we're shutting all that down, that would screw Canada or the rest of Canada in a major way. But if you're landlocked and you can't get your product out to market, the only people you could deal with at that point is the United States. And if you didn't have a Donald Trump in office,
they don't want it.
How do you get it done? Right? Yeah, Christian saying Keystone XL done. Listen, Christian, I want Keystone as bad as the rest of you guys.
But that's benefiting the U.S. not as much as it is Canada.
Keystone, the way Trump had Keystone set up before, was a major benefit to the United States, and we were getting bent over. Yes, it creates jobs. Yes, it allows us to dig for oil or drill for oil, but Canada, or Albertans in particular, were getting screwed by that deal. And we were happy to get it.
Oh, 100%. Work is work.
A pipeline's a pipeline.
Huge pipeline. But yeah, no, it was more of a benefit for the U.S. It's definitely.
Here's Night of Falima saying Alberta wouldn't be screwed. We as Alberta have pipelines going from Heartseed to Texas.
Between provinces and countries that we would have an issue with.
The problem, Night of Falima, and I want to iterate this as to why I think that's an issue. When you can move your oil across Canada through whatever pipe. Now, keep in mind, people always just think that it's TMX or it's Energy East or nothing. There are hundreds of pipelines that go throughout this country that move oil on a regular basis. If those were cut off, or if the rest of Canada put a huge tariff on Alberta saying you're going to pay a premium to move oil outside of that province in through our country, then all of a sudden Alberta has to make more money on its oil selling it to other places. And the United States, if they don't have a complete moron in charge, would look at this and say, you have nowhere else to go. We're the only ones that can take your oil at this point because you have this pipeline going into Texas. So here's the deal that we want. And I can tell you right now, they would smell the desperation, and the deal once again would benefit the United States. It would not be of benefit to Alberta in the way that everybody thinks it would. Yes, we could drill. Yes, we could get our oil out, but it would be at a large cost to what it would be if we could just all get along and make a deal as is. It wouldn't, the United States wouldn't say, oh, good, you separated, so we're just going to give you a fair deal for your dollar. If that's the only place we can send it to, they're going to hammer us. It's not saying I don't think the United States would be very friendly to the separate Alberta at all. I don't think so either. Again, they'd say, we'll take your oil, but we're not going to give you a big price for it. We're not going to give you a heavy price tag for it because it's them or nothing. Alberta can separate, but they can't handle their trade battles alone. No. And that's the problem. That's why I keep saying, like, I don't want to separate from Canada as an Albertan. I don't think that's the answer. The biggest problem, I'd rather fix Canada itself than fix Alberta so that all of us can be happy. How do we do that? Deport. Get all the illegals out of here. Get all the asylum seekers out of here. Get anybody who isn't contributing out of here, that isn't on a permanent citizenship. Get them all out of here. Create some real jobs. Allow our products to get to market. I'm talking about farmers. I'm talking about oil and gas. And while you're at it, restructure our government. The problem isn't the economy. The problem isn't people coming here as much as it is the problem being the government. Every bill that the government puts forward, and this is why I like channels like Northern Perspective, they have the insight knowledge to deeply go into these bills. I'm not a bill savvy guy, so I can read bills and sometimes I don't even understand the full
all gibberish
declaration of the bill. Sometimes it's a foreign language. But I like channels like Northern Perspective because they spell it out on how it works. Every bill is designed with backdoor features that benefit the ones putting it in place. No bills over the last 15 years have been designed to help Canadians. They're all to help the government. If you want to fix the country's problem, the first thing you need is a functioning government. And for as long as guys like Justin Trudeau are going to run around running amok, we're not going to get it.
Hopefully only another year.
Christian asking, what's up with Montreal? We covered that a little earlier. You'll have to go back with the replay and check it out. It's basically in a war right now. If Alberta and BC join the United States, I'm moving to BC, says Snatch. That would be a little more beneficial because at least then you've got a port to get your oil out of. You've got a pipeline to get your oil out of.
We just make the oil here in Alberta.
Yeah. $1 billion in this year's budget for refugees. That's going to grow. Keep in mind, it's not going to stay at 1 billion. That's going to grow. Just saying I watch committees. I have a problem with the committees. I want to get into that in a sec. I'm going to catch up with the chat here. I've spoken to great length about this in videos. We should talk about it again here. I don't agree with the committees. I'm going to tell you why. I've got a video coming out tomorrow about Lauren Southern and her testimony over tenant media in committee. I've had Stephanie Cousy on this channel talking about committees for Arrive Scam, with Dalian, with contracts being given out. We look at committees being held for SDTC. Randy Boissonnault and his backdoor dealings and government contracts while he's a sitting MP. Which Randy, we don't know. It's the problem is that the same thing that I voiced to Stephanie Cousy during our interview, as well as Garnet Jennis. Why are we not seeing charges? Why are we not seeing arrests? Why is it that we pay millions and millions of taxpayer dollars for these committees that essentially are just fact-finding committees that go nowhere? There's no charges brought forward. There's no consequences for the way these people behave. Randy's currently under investigation by Edmonton Police. Sorry, a former business partner, but you know that's tied to Randy. You're not gonna see him in jail.
Well, I mean, he quit or whatever it was that happened because of his Indigenous lies or whatever it was, right?
His fraudulent claims that
Yeah.
he's Indigenous, where he claims, I'm getting to know my family in real time. Maybe you should do that before you put on Indigenous garb and claim that you're full-blooded Cree.
Right.
Xylo chiming in, the committees are simple. It shows the government can waste money while pretending they're doing something.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest problem, is that it's all a trick pony show. It's just, look at us pretending the system works. Start making some arrests. Start putting some charges forward, even for guys like Dalian, for these groups that took contracts that knew darn well they were scamming Canadian taxpayers. Start seeing some of those guys go to trial, go to jail. Then I'd be happy. Then I'd be satisfied and say, I guess the system is starting to work a little. But the problem is that you have a government right now that is literally flaunting its corruption in our face because nothing is going to happen to them.
Sorry, I read Randy has a mangina.
Randy has a mangina, more than likely. I'm sure it depends how he.
In my head.
It depends how he identifies. But Karina Gould standing up this week, screaming about the Freedom Convoy and about protesters, and when they're the ones with 11 corrupt MPs that are tied to election interference, and we're not allowed to know their names. What are we doing here? Where does it end? This is exactly what they were doing. They were flaunting how bad they are at and smirking at us.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And I've said it before. I'm not suggesting that Pierre is going to do this kind of behavior, but Justin Trudeau has given future politicians in any party a roadmap at this point as to how you can essentially run your party as a business and make yourself filthy rich in the process.
And how to get away with it.
And how to just walk right away.
Yeah.
Again, I always go back to the sponsorship scandal with Jean Chrétien. When that happened, it was a big deal. The media was covering it. They had full coverage of the trial, of the inquiry, all the testimony. They were constantly questioning, is this guy going to see charges? We all knew he wasn't going to see charges. But it was blown out like, can you believe the government would do this? Can you believe the government would switch money around like this to benefit themselves? Now it happens, and we're just told, no big deal. Aga Khan, no big deal. Jody Wilson-Raybould, no big deal. We Charity scandal, no big deal. Jamaica vacations, no big deal. $6,000 hotels at the Queen's funeral, pish posh, no big deal. Right? $1 billion in government contracts going to Justin's friends, while his net worth goes from $9 million to $130 million in less than 5 years.
Backup of any of those jobs.
Like, what are we doing? I'll tell you right now, and I said it on Wednesday night's random live stream. Even if Stephanie Kusi is my MP, and at some point in the next 11 months, her people will be door knocking in my neighborhood, and if I'm still living here, or even if I'm living in Spruce Grove at the time, and the Conservative MP for out there is door knocking, I'm going to ask them straight up, why the hell should I vote for you or anyone when you guys can't even put somebody in handcuffs for stealing my money? Why should I continue paying my taxes? Why should I continue contributing to this system? You know, Donald Trump once attacked Hillary Clinton because she pointed out how Donald Trump was using tax loopholes to save himself and his corporation up to $1 billion in taxes. And you know what Trump did in that was the same debate where he told Hillary she'd end up in jail.
Yep.
He came out and admitted it. Yeah, I use those loopholes. You know why? Because everyone else does, including all the people sitting in this crowd tonight who are Hillary's donors, he said. They all use these to exploit them. Those tax rules are put in place so that people can exploit them in big business, and she's just mad that I'm running, so she tries to throw me under the bus. Her and all of her friends use this just as much as I do. I'm not guilty of anything. And that's when she said, well, we're fortunate that nobody has the temperament of Donald Trump running the country. And he said, because you'd be in jail. He knows darn well that what he's doing isn't right.
But it's not illegal.
It's not illegal. Is he going to throw $1 billion in the toilet just because he wants to do the right thing? There's businesses in Canada that benefit all the time from write-offs because they're designed to help the government. They weren't put in place for the working class.
No, nothing was put in place for the working class.
Tiffany says to me every year when I file the business's taxes, I can't believe that you only pay roughly 10% when 40% of my check goes out. I don't know why I'm not contracting. I don't know why I'm not working for myself. And I tell her every year, it's because the government designed these rules to benefit them, not to benefit us. Snatch saying, how much would everybody give back to the old-fashioned corruption of the Prime Minister, Jean Chrétien? I mean, they have a roadmap to essentially continue to steal from us.
Yep.
And they can continue to. Musk has paid almost no personal tax ever. $10 billion. I'm assuming that means paid no personal tax. There are ways that if you have accountants, if you have people who run your business, before you spend $1, they tell you, put this on your company. Buy your house through your company. Buy your vehicles through your company. Pay your employees this way because you can claim these benefits. Hire DEI employees because you can save money over here. Why do you think every Tim Hortons, nobody speaks English? It's not because they like East Indian employees. It's because they're getting money back for hiring them all because of Justin Trudeau's woke business practices. Maybe it's time everybody gets a roadmap back to Ottawa. Well, if you want to get frozen bank accounts and stomped by horses. Radio Reaction jumping in, great channel again. Rich people have the best tax accountants.
Yeah, they do.
That's
why they're rich.
I'll tell you right now that I had never incorporated. I had never run a company. And as soon as How the Prime Minister Stole Freedom blew up, my father pulled me aside and said, you need to incorporate and you need to get an accountant unless you want to light your money on fire and give it all to the government. And I said, yeah, whatever. I didn't think it was a big deal. And then I sat down with an accountant. And it's same thing. Here's where you're going to put this money. Here's where you're going to put that money. Here's how much you're going to prepay in taxes. Here's how much you're going to do these things. Here's how much you got for investments. He does all of that and lays it out so that we pay the minimum we have to give to the government. Now, that accountant retired, and I went in and new accountants took over that office, and they asked me when I brought in my taxes, what is it you're hoping to gain out of this year's taxes? And I told them, your job is to take a microscope and shove it up Justin Trudeau's ass and pull every penny out of there that you can. That's what I want. And that's what I think every hardworking Canadian should get, not just incorporated people. I've said it a million times over. Pierre Poilievre keeps talking about, I want to lower income taxes so your checks bring home more money so that you can buy more things. How much are you going to lower it? That's what I want to know.
Like 40% of my check is a lot.
You think about it, people used to give half their pay to their church.
Yeah.
Now think about that. If there's still people that do that, 40% of your check goes to taxes, and then you give 50% of that to a church. What are you left with? Nothing. You're left with nothing. Ingrid saying, if Israel didn't have a war going on right now and it was peaceful to live there, I have dual citizenship for Israel and Canada. I'd be moving to Israel with my husband, Charles.
Yeah.
There's people fleeing the country. You see all these celebrities say, oh, Donald Trump's president, I'm leaving the United States. It's worse in Canada. People can't, and they're leaving because they can't afford to live here.
Yeah.
The East Indians who were hired at Tim Hortons here in Nova Scotia had to start at a supervisor position as per government arrangement. They knew nothing, yet were supervising. I don't doubt that.
Wow.
I don't doubt that because that's all part of DEI. That's all part of DEI. Billy Mustang, I put my money where my mouth is. I refuse to work at a job that pays income tax, and I left Canada. Stop supporting them. I wish. Stinger, you're not alone, Tiffany, even more with overtime. Yeah. Well, the good news is Pierre did come out. He was asked in conjunction with Donald Trump's policies on overtime, would you consider doing that in Canada? To which he said, I'm on board for it. Now, hopefully he follows through with that and it's not just filibuster. But
it would be awesome if overtime wasn't being taxed.
If overtime wasn't being taxed, and I'm going to sound like my racist grandfather here, but get rid of the immigrants so that we can enjoy our overtime.
Well, because right now you work overtime and you're making what, an extra $20 on your paycheck? It doesn't seem to be worth it because you're being taxed so much.
Only a fool would try to stop a derailed train by standing in front of it. The money hit will have a debris field nationwide. That's why we are here to rebuild. I'm sad, just got my snowblower serviced and I want to move away to a climate where I won't need it.
I'm sure it won't be hard to find a buyer for that, though.
Would you give your workers' rebate back to the turd to bribe him to go for a walk in the snow? Listen, I'd give him a kidney if it meant he was just going to leave and we could get on with our lives.
Yeah. You have to pay an exit tax in Canada when you're leaving. Yeah.
Twisty saying
you got to pay a death tax. You got to pay a tax for somebody dying. Like you're paying tax on everything. There's a tax.
We got bigger problems coming with the immigrants.
Yeah.
Look at the crime. It's a full-blown invasion. We were driving through a community tonight on our way home. I picked Mrs. Fringe up because it was snowing. And it's a gorgeous community. And I said, I used to like this community. And I said, I haven't been through here in about 10 years, but I said, it's all East Indian owned now.
Well, that's where our area is turning into too.
Well, we took our kids to the park a few weeks ago before it snowed. Nobody was speaking English.
No.
You couldn't understand a darn thing being shouted out on that playground. Our kids are standing there confused. Now our kids, they don't see color.
No, they don't care. They talk to anybody. I mean, we have a 4-year-old who doesn't speak English, so he doesn't care.
I have no problem with people who come to the country to assimilate, to get a job, to pay taxes, to join our system and thrive in it. Please start a business, be successful. But even tonight when we were out, we grabbed dinner on the way home. There was a skip the dishes driver with a handicap tag on his rearview window.
Yeah.
Hopping in and out of the car, grabbing food. And I said, look at the Jeets grabbing handicap tags. And the wife says, well, maybe he legitimately has a disability. I said, he wouldn't be a skip the dishes driver or DoorDash if he had a handicap, if he needed that spot. He's putting it on there to get to the door faster.
He's always got a spot no matter where he goes.
Maybe somebody in his family has a disability, but he should not be using that while driving around.
No.
Delivering food.
I know when my mom used to drive my grandma's van, she'd never use the handicap just because she had it.
Stand My Ground says we were only not only taxed to death, we were taxed after we die too. Yeah.
Yeah.
An ex worked every day of the year, 365 days, grossed 102,000, took home 53. Yeah.
Wow.
That sounds about right. Skip driver was scamming the system. Disgusting. Yeah. Well, it's laziness, and it's again no shame. We've shown videos even on Halloween of the East Indians stealing everybody's candy and their lights off of their porch. They don't care. I showed it at the beginning of the stream. A newcomer with a sign saying, give me free money. She's already a gimme-grant. She already gets up to $9,000 a month from the Canadian government, and she's sitting there on her iPhone behind her sign saying she's homeless. Bullshit. We should have zero tolerability for that.
Mm-hmm.
Zero strikes. Just the police pick them up, take them to the airport, throw them on a plane.
You're racist if you don't put up with it.
Well, you're phobic. You're xenophobic. You have no tolerance for. It has nothing to do with the color of their skin. Stop fucking up my country. Pardon my French.
No swear.
But this stuff just brings my piss to a boil.
Yeah.
I'm so sick and tired of seeing it.
Well, they rip off the food banks. They're taking advantage of absolutely everything they can.
Becca saying, I'm handicapped. I'm a truck driver and I have been a door dasher. That's fine, Becca. But I'm saying this guy was not disabled in the least. He was sprinting to the car. I'm talking about people who abuse the system. I'm not saying everybody with a handicap tag
absolutely not.
is a scammer who delivers food. People got to make their ends meet. I'm talking
I
about
know
this
that
individual who was here
some
from another
handicaps-
country.
Not every handicap you can see. I get that.
Snatch saying what I'm talking about is the end of high trust society.
Yes.
Yes.
Immigration is a weaponized tactic.
So here's something I see in the comments all the time. Canada's lost. Nothing's going to happen. It's over. It's done. Here's the question.
Not necessarily over.
So here's the question for the chat. Realistically, how do we fix it? How do we fix it?
Pitchforks.
See, that's not realistic.
Kevin keeps saying it is.
It's not realistic. I'm asking for a realistic, how do we fix the problem? I'm waiting for somebody to say PPC because I'm going to be like, no.
There have been.
It's
when your piss comes to spoil.
Corporate punishment.
Does steam shoot out your junk?
Does steam shoot out my junk? No. I worked an 84-hour week in the patch with a holiday that in that week I got paid over $9,000 that week. Only took home about $4,100. That's insane deductions.
It is.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
How do we fix it? We unite. Okay, and then what? Because here's the thing. And I'm not trying to say nothing can happen or I'm not going to take you serious. We tried that with the Freedom Convoy. The biggest protest in world history across Canada.
And Trudeau will never let something like that
They
ever
will
happen again.
never let people unite in groups like that again. If you look at the government, their whole goal over the last 10 years, divide. Put them in little groups because then they can't rise up. If we unite, we're shut down. Bank accounts are frozen, tear gas, cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria, windows smashed, jail, long drawn-out court cases. I said it today when we talk about Pat King and we talk about Tamara and Chris Barber. They're dragging these court cases on so long so that outlets like Rebel News and the Democracy Fund that look after these people are drained. They're doing it on purpose. That's the punishment. You're going to lose your shirt defending these rights, and the government's still going to get away with it because they have endless resources. Set the precedent. I think again, we have to hold our future leaders accountable. These people that fall in love with politicians, that they're going to save us, they're going to work on things. I'm happy Pierre's coming in, and I'm still showing the scrutiny. I'm still showing the cautious nature to say we can't fall in love with our politicians. We have to, when they come to the door, when they ask us for our votes, that's when we matter to them. That's when we have to tell them, if you don't do your job, I'm coming back to your office and I'm going to kick the door down and ask for you to get the hell out of here. You're supposed to represent me. You're not just supposed to come pucker up and lick my butt whenever you want your job back every 4 years. You're not a car salesman. Either represent me or quit. Get out. Remember those who fought and died for our freedom. It's our turn. I wish it were that easy. But you'll never get enough people behind it.
You will get enough people. It's just a matter of how do you go about it.
How do you go about it and how do you do it the right way?
Yeah. Your screen's giving me a seizure back here.
Oh, I'm told all the time about how terrible it is. Neptune with a $5 super chat. My other half drives a train for CP, working 10-hour trips, 2 weeks average, but before taxes, $6,500, after taxes, $3,800, give or take. How is it fair? And Dylan saying in here, you can't even defend yourself in your own home.
No.
Snatch chiming in again. It doesn't matter when the economy begins to melt down or the price of butter hits $10, you'll have a sea of protesters. Well, then let's get butter to $10. Let's just do it. I will tell you right now, people always think, oh, Fringe, you just sit in your basement and make these videos. You don't do any. You remember when the Freedom Convoy started and we said we should get in the car and go?
Mhm.
We should go drive to Ottawa. We should join in. Our only fear was if we had to get out and they're not letting vehicles out and we're stuck, we have the kids. What happens? Right? It's the only reason we didn't go. Somebody accused me today. Somebody came into the comments on the Pat King video. I usually don't like going after viewers or getting angry at viewers. Somebody came out today and accused me of bailing on Pat King. Well, you give more notice to Tamara and Chris Barber and you left Pat King in the dust. Pat King, as well as thousands of truck drivers, stood up for our rights and created an unpayable debt in Ottawa. They had the balls to go and face our government. And that was the start to a solution to a problem. Did the Freedom Convoy end the lockdowns? No, but it was definitely the starting point. A month after it happened was when Alberta all of a sudden showed up. Fat Stalin came out and said, we're going to get rid of the mandates. We're going to get rid of the lockdown measures because people are fed up. I don't bail on Pat King. I don't bail on anybody. I don't bail on people who love this country. We need more people like that are willing to get up and make a difference. And I say shame on anybody who thinks that any realistic Canadian would turn their backs on anyone who stands up to defend this country. At this point in time, I've given up on how we fix Canada. I like Pierre, but unless he really cuts the waste, we're doomed. I'm too old for this stuff. I agree. I agree. I never once heard Pat King say anything hateful during the convoy, just bash Trudeau.
Yep.
Pat King, if you remember the Coventry camp that was out in Ottawa or just outside of Ottawa, police came in to take the fuel.
Yep.
You remember that
Yep.
live stream? And Pat was on there walking around saying, guys, just let them do their jobs. Don't give them any pressure. Don't fight them. Don't anything else. Don't push back. Just it's not their fault. Let them do their jobs.
Not worth the fight. Yeah.
And the guy has just been charged. He's facing up to 10 years. There was no word in any of the coverage as to when he's going to be sentenced or what the punishment is going to be for what he's been charged. And keep in mind, it's just mischief charges. But they're trying to get him on 10 years.
Yeah. But Tamara is almost in trouble in that end as well, right? Like she might be looking at more jail time.
I'm one of the truckers that got their bank account frozen for being there, and I'd do it again no matter what.
100%.
Becca, I appreciate that.
You up too.
I appreciate that. There were truckers that lost their jobs for going to the Freedom Convoy protest.
Yeah.
Bank accounts frozen. Some still have accounts frozen. We talked earlier this week about how Tamara and Chris are facing larger problems that, again, when you look at what happened to Pat King, this is why. They're literally grasping at straws to find any means to stick the nail to these guys and make an example out of them. They already said that they're going to invoke what's called a Carter application. If you missed that video, shame on you. Second of all, I'm just joking. The Carter application, what essentially happens is that when the injunction was filed in Ottawa and they said, no more honking horns.
Yep.
Chris Barber allegedly, well, not allegedly, he went out and made a TikTok video, but he was talking about if you're getting attacked, if you're getting hurt, if anything's happening to you, lay on that horn. But they're using that and saying that Chris Barber could face charges for propositioning people to break the law.
But the government just wants to put a scare into people so this never happens again.
Well, look what happens if you stand up against your government.
100%.
Here's what happens if you defy the almighty powerful laws. This
Free
is
speech and all that jazz, right?
So what this Carter application essentially says is because Tamara Leach had press conferences and said, we aren't leaving Ottawa. We aren't going anywhere. We want to talk to the government. They're saying that the term we the pronoun implicates that they are one entity. So in turns, if they charge Chris Barber with influencing others to stay, even though Tamara was working with the mayor, with Jim Watson to try and get trucks out before the Emergency Act was invoked, while she was willing to negotiate with people to get things done properly, while she had said several times to be peaceful, to be respectful.
Everybody signed a waiver saying that that's how they were going to be doing this.
She wanted a code of conduct signed
Yeah.
by everybody. I've seen the paperwork. Yet they're trying to nail her on a 10-year charge to say, well, if we charge Chris Barber, now we can charge her because she's a leader. They were leaders together because she used the term we when talking about the entire convoy. Give me a break. Start a solutions war room, a think tank, if you will. Get the people involved in focusing on solutions. The biggest problem, and it goes back to a really good question I had in Q&A on Wednesday's surprise stream. Tuesday's surprise stream. I think it was Tuesday.
I don't know what day of the week it is
I've lost
today.
track of the days. I'm sorry, folks. Somebody asked me if you could change anything about Canada, what would you change? If you could go back and change something. I said, Constitution. Not like America's Constitution, but the Constitution of our government. Meaning that I would change that people have more power with their government. People have the ability to replace their government if they're not happy with who's representing them. People have the right to recall.
The people have more voice.
That they have more control over corruption. Governing should always be done by the people. It should always be for the people. It should not be in the name of business. It should not be in the name of investments. It should not be in the name of jet setting around the world while lecturing your people that they're all terrible environment ruiners while you're emitting more carbon than people do driving across the country. Government is supposed to work for us, not the other way around. And one of the biggest problems when we talk about solutions is that the government, again, and I said it earlier with these bills, all of these bills are made with loopholes to protect them. They have parliamentary privilege. Even if they're literally caught with their hands in the cookie jar, they don't go to jail. I mean, you can go far as back as even the United States with Nixon. I'm not a criminal. Yeah, you were. That's why you resigned.
It was, I'm not a crook.
I'm not a crook. But Nixon didn't go to jail.
No.
Politicians don't go to jail.
Yes.
That has to change. The system has to change. And that's where I always say, when you look at a guy like Pierre, I like him again, by the way. If he really loved this country, he'd say, not only am I going to axe the tax, not only am I going to, but I'm going to put through some bills that protect you. That protect you from any further treatment like this. That protect you from this kind of behavior again. We'll fix the system. You need somebody like a Donald Trump who says, we're going to hold them all accountable. Have you heard Pierre Poilievre say one time, we're going to get Justin Trudeau thrown in jail? We're going to hold him accountable for all of the money he has stolen. We're going to audit him. I would love to hear those words come out of Pierre Poilievre. In fact, I would love to hear a journalist ask him, with all of the scandals Justin Trudeau has pulled over the last 10 years, will you give him a forensic audit when he's no longer prime minister? Do you know why he won't do it? Because they're all in the same boat. They're all politicians. If Pierre wrecks the system for everyone else, why would they keep him around? It's not to say Pierre's a bad guy. It's that you either toe the line or you're replaced because you're part of the same uniparty. I want all the money back that the Liberals stole. I want that and then some, and interest.
100%.
And interest. I don't care as much about axing the tax or as much about all the other things, reduced income tax, as much as I care about accountability, as much as I care about the law. If I steal money, I go to jail. My life is screwed for the rest of my life. Anytime I go to apply for a job from now on, have you ever committed a crime or offense in which you haven't been pardoned? Yes. Okay, well, you're unhireable. Where's that for Justin Trudeau? Where's that for Marco Mendicino? Where is that for Randy Boissonnault? Where's that for Chrystia Freeland? Why do they get their pensions? Why is it that they can steal, leave office, and get checks for the rest of their lives to sit with their thumb up their ass? Why is that allowed? Why is our Constitution protecting them? Again, those are the questions people should be asking their future leaders. Where's the forensic audit? If Trudeau won't produce the documents right now for SDTC, when you become prime minister, will you audit? Will you get those documents? Will you expose them? Will you hold them accountable? Will you arrest anybody who's guilty of a crime? I sure would love Pierre to answer those questions. Throw a 1 in the chat if you'd like Pierre to do the same thing. KG saying the mainstream media lied and slithered and connived and conspired with Trudeau to the point any patriot in the light of terroristic movement they did their fellow Canadians on the taxpayers. Yeah. Benjamin saying a politician needs to ball up and vote term limits in. No pensions for only a few years' work. And yes, accountability on all politicians. Yeah, we see all the ones getting up in the chat. If you guys, when you talk about uniting, when we talk about how do we fix things, the next time there's a Pierre Poilievre rally, go to it. Go to it. Because he stays and he meets everybody at the end.
Ask him.
Ask him, each and every one of you, go through that lineup and ask him, where's the audit? When are we going to see Justin in jail? When are we going to see accountability for the money he stole? Where can we get an explanation as to how he took his wealth from 9 million to 130 in 5 years? How is this fair for me as a Canadian? And why should I vote for you if I'm worried the same thing might happen under your government? Listen to his answer. If he gives you a bunch of slogans, don't vote for him. You want a real answer. We deserve a real answer.
100%.
Ask him about accountability. I mean, you guys, if you want to make changes, that's how it starts. You start going to these MPs. You start seeing them at their rallies. You start seeing them when they're campaigning. Because look, I'll put it in a better analogy for you guys. If you have a cell phone, everybody's got a cell phone. When you finish your terms, right? When you sign onto a contract with your cell phone, you go into Best Buy or wherever you got your phone from, Rogers, Bell, and you say to them, my contract's up and my phone's giving me some issues, and they instantly love you. Oh, sir, come on in. Can we sit down in this nice, comfortable chair? Here's all the deals we can give you. Here's all the great things we can do for you. Here's how cheap and affordable it is for you to come in. All you have to do is sign on this line.
So you do it eagerly.
Eagerly, you sign on the line and go, wow, this company really cares about me. They're giving me all these deals. You sign your life away, and guess what? As soon as your signature is on that paper, as soon as it's ironclad, guess what? Thanks for your business. Get the hell out.
Yep, you're done.
And you call them and say, hey, my phone's not working. A week later, they say, not my problem.
Yeah, figure it out.
Figure it out. You got 2 more years of this nonsense. Piss off. Because they got you.
We had that happen with my phone.
Your phone literally broke a week in.
Literally a weekend.
And they said, oh, no, we're not doing anything with it.
Yep.
Deal with it.
You're lost.
Sorry. Go buy another one. Sucker. It's the same thing with the government. Every 4 years, they come crawling out of the woodwork. Oh, we want to give you the world. We're going to promise you all these wonderful things. We're going to make your life better. We're going to do the things everybody else isn't doing. We love you. Please give us your vote because I want to stay here and get my pension. I don't want to have to work again in the rest of my life. I want free money. I want to make 6 figures to sit at home after a certain amount of years with the government.
Me too.
Please give me your vote. Before you put your name on that line, before you sign for Pierre, before you sign for any of these MPs, you should be asking them these questions. Are we going to see an audit? Are we going to see these crooks in jail? Are you going to expose the 11 MPs since you're not on a gag order? Are you going to arrest any of these people that have compromised our election systems? Are you going to get any of our money back? Because I don't know about you guys, I worked too damn hard to have it thrown away at their pig at a trough behavior. Bryce with a $5 super chat. Cut the tax and corrupt government. Yeah. We aren't the bad guys. The other guys are.
Yeah.
That's where I keep saying we don't work for them. It's the other way around.
They forgot that.
KG saying we really need to stand up now because Trump is going to bend over this country. A new one with our trade deals with the Liberals and NDP Parliament. Well, that's why I was talking about that, saying if just a cringe. Who's just a cringe channel? What's a cringe channel? Did I miss something?
Are we cringy?
Are we cringy? Anyway, I said it on another video that when you look at Donald Trump, if he was smart, he'll negotiate all of his deals before Pierre gets in.
Yes.
Because Justin, he can't negotiate. He doesn't care to negotiate, and he doesn't care about this country. If Trump waits until Pierre's in,
Just a cringe channel is a person. Go down.
oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought somebody was saying I was being cringe for saying we have to hold our government to account. Oh, geez. Let's all write a letter to PP to go and get an interview by Derek.
Yes, let's
Listen,
do it.
Becca, I talk to PP's people all the time.
I'm trying.
I've got his number 2 on speed dial. And I've said a number of times, I've talked about it to great extent here. Come on the channel. And they've said we have to keep an arm's distance from you guys.
Yeah, they want nothing to do.
Because it makes us look bad to associate with fringe YouTubers.
Yep.
Any of them. Keep in mind, he saw the pleb at one of his rallies and said, keep up the good work. He doesn't care there because the pleb's got a video rolling. I'm not saying it's Pierre, his people.
Yes.
It's his people that control everything he does. It's not Pierre. Pierre's a great guy. I like Pierre. We've had a few good conversations.
Yeah.
Nice guy. It's his people that suck. That's that I've said it before. PP should go on any YouTuber's channel. Any. Doesn't have to come on mine. Go on any reputable YouTube channel that covers Canadian politics. That isn't True North, that isn't Rebel, that isn't an outlet. I'm talking about a guy like me, a guy like Clinton Jaws, a guy like the pleb. It doesn't have to be those guys either. Just somebody who covers Canadian politics and allow them to ask you real questions. Show your human side. I spoke with Preston Manning when How the Prime Minister Stole Freedom came out. In fact, that was the whole way I got in touch with Pierre Poilievre. He put me in touch with his party because he loved the book. And he reached out and he says, I think you should do some work with Pierre because I'd love people to see his human side, his down-to-earth side, his discussions with somebody where it's not an outlet, it's not a press conference. Have some fun. I thought it was a great idea. Both Preston Manning and myself have been pushing for that interview for several years because I agree. We need to identify with Pierre. We need to be able to see him on his human side without the slogans, without the scripted interviews. I think it would be the best thing for him. I'm pro Pierre. I think he'd do a great job. Again, anytime I've spoken to him, very nice. Remembers my name, even though he meets tons of people. Great guy.
You almost sounded like Trump there a little bit. Like you were doing like your Trump impression.
Pierre Poilievre. He's a great guy. Nice person. Only the best, believe me. He's going to be a great prime minister, great deals. We're going to get some great deals done.
He won't even look at Trudeau. I love it.
I won't talk to the guy who doesn't have a scrotum. Not going to do it. It's a terrible, terrible Trump impersonation.
It's horrible.
It's terrible. You got to go low and you got to talk about Biden. Kamala. Get them out. Get them all out. Get them out of here. Do the Trump dance. You do the little Trump dance. I'm wearing my Christmas Trump sweater, by the way, that says make Christmas great again. It's too bad I sit so close to the camera because nobody knows. People just think I'm sitting here in a gray sweatshirt.
You are.
It's. I think Donald Trump needs to hire me in the White House so I can come out every day and be like, "Hey, America, you know what really grinds my gears? Joe Biden."
Kamala.
Trump won't shake Trudeau's hand because he doesn't want to get accused of grabbing another pussy.
Yeah.
Yep. It's With that said, ladies and gentlemen, let's do some Q&A. Let's wrap up with some Q&A, and we'll get into the draw for tonight's products. Again, Mrs. Fringe coming downstairs with all of these amazing, amazing calendars that curse that were gifted to us. We're going to go through them one at a time, and we're going to be drawing for those on the stream tonight. If you're not yet a member of the Patriots Club, hit that join button down below and join the channel. That's how you get your name in for the draw. If you're part of the Patriots Club, you get in for the draw, and hopefully win yourself one of these things. We'll find a way to ship them out, maybe DHL or something. I'll get something set up this week to ship them out. So
Canada
you guys,
Post. No,
so you're not waiting on Canada Post.
I'm waiting on Canada Post.
Throw your questions in for the Q&A, and I'll be looking for question marks. Again, it flows quickly, so if I missed your question, please don't be offended. I'll get to as many as we can.
Always go back to the chat.
We go back to the chats after the live streams. I always see what everybody wrote. Let's get into it. Do you even have dual citizenship to get hired in the White House? No, but I'm pretty sure if it's just as easy to get into Canada from the US, I could do the same over there. Or at least just go temporarily and come back.
Yeah.
I come back. Here's an idea. Your channel, Moose on the Loose, Clinton Jaws' channel, True North, and a few more get PP to do a show, and you get to ask questions. I'd love to set something like that up. Again, it'll never happen. His people don't want any point near us. They near any of us, not just me. They've made it very clear. Who has the best fried chicken in Calgary? That I don't think anybody. It's really not that good anywhere. I don't think. I mean, Chick-fil-A wasn't bad, but yeah, I don't think so. Somebody asking for a recap? A recap of what? I can't recap the whole stream. What is your favorite beer? I don't drink beer. I don't touch it. The only thing I've ever drank is Jack Daniels. I don't. Reg saying I'd love to talk with you both in Spruce Grove. Reg, I'm happy to do that if we could ever get there.
Just need someone to buy the house.
It'll happen. Just an update on that because people have been asking. I've seen it in the chat periodically tonight. Did you sell? Did you sell? We have until December 10th, and then we are letting go of the house that we bid on. If there's no offers by that time, it's just a slow market, guys. If that's the case, Mrs. Fringe and I will be waiting until March?
Yeah.
Until busy season kicks off for housing sales. And then in the spring, we'll start back up, hopefully be out by the summer. One way or another, we're moving to Spruce. At this point,
just a matter of when.
We want to have Christmas with the kids. We don't want to worry about people coming into the house and kicking tires anymore. So we've just said December the 10th. If we haven't sold by then, we're sticking around for a while.
Yeah.
And then we'll pick up where we left off. Justin, am I still allowed on here if I'm a Penguins fan after the Jets? Don't push your luck.
I will allow it.
You're just can you say shut up, Meg? Oh my God. Girl Chris. There we go. Does anyone think Elon is going to buy MSNBC? I've heard rumors until they said the same thing with Twitter, and then a little bit later he jumped on it. Once he gets a little more serious, I'll believe it.
I want him to buy YouTube.
I'd love him to buy YouTube. Are you kidding? That would be great. Only the best. Buy YouTube. You'd make millions and millions.
Be cut to before Trudeau get in.
Will taxes be cut before Trudeau gets in? I don't believe so. Nope. Let's see.
Nope.
No, we can't do that one.
Sorry.
What is your status on the move? So we talked about that.
Yeah.
If you missed it, I'm sorry. We're still here.
Favorite beer we've answered.
Favorite root beer.
Ooh.
I don't drink that either.
Favorite Dad's root beer.
You like Dad's?
Best.
You like Dad's?
Dad's root beer is
I don't drink it.
Oh,
I don't.
Come on.
I'm into crappy Logan Paul drinks. I drink Prime and and water.
I should ban that from my house after that pitiful fight. Moving on.
That was Jake Paul.
It was his brother though. Still
I know.
bloodline.
Let's find another question mark in here. Let's get another Gerald Cooper, when can we meet in person again? Gerald and Carol. We'll try and organize something again at some point in the future. I know you guys like the meet and greets. I know people up near Spruce want to get on the meet and greets. We'll get something done with that as well. Keep your ears open. We'll be getting that done. Do you like eggnog?
Ugh.
No, I don't do it either. I'm not a fan. It's
like drinking snot. Ugh.
If I want to get drunk, I just straight up drink. I don't.
Yeah, vodka with anything, pretty much.
Let's go. Carson saying you don't want to move in the winter anyways. I didn't really care because we had movers hired, so either way, I don't have to touch anything. It doesn't bother me.
So pretty.
And we really like the house that we've got a bid on. So we'll see what happens. Why do you want Elon to buy YouTube? You said you were censored on X2 because it'd probably be less censorship than I'm currently facing. I think that would be the deal. Colin P. Wow, $50 super chat. Those roads were getting greasy, worse than Trudeau. But I made it. Glad to hear you're safe, Colin. Thank you. Geez, thank you for the generous $50 super chat. I'm scrolling for question marks. Let's see. Have you ever reached out to other channels like Northern Perspective, Moose on the Loose, The Pleb, etc.? All Canadian YouTubers are becoming one company. So there was an idea that a group of YouTubers would come together at a time when the world needed them most to avenge those Canadians who were looking for an answer.
So retarded.
No. I had a thought at one point of saying, I'd like to reach out to the Pleb, maybe Moose, maybe Clinton, seeing about doing like a once a week show of all of us on like a channel, to do like a panel. I think it'd be fun. I don't really chat too often. I talk to Clinton Jaws sometimes, the Pleb sometimes. Who knows what's possible? I don't know if all of them would want to do such a thing, but I'd certainly be open to it. I'd have a lot of fun. Did you hear about the latest scandal with the passport office? No. I'm going to have to look into that.
Yeah.
There's Coke or Pepsi again. I'm not answering that. We do that every week. Enjoying the fun driving conditions. I do. I like it. I like the snow. I'm a fan of the snow.
I'm not.
It's let's see here. Where's another question mark?
You go too fast. Iced tea, sweet tea, non-sweet tea, iced tea.
Iced tea. Favorite liquor drink for Christmas?
Vodka.
Anything with vodka. Anything to make Mrs. Fringe look like Justin Trudeau's ex-wife. She's happy and she's flopping all over the place.
No,
inebriated.
I don't drink that much ever.
Only on days that end in Y. I haven't had a drink in years. Ever since my mom died, I haven't had a drink. So I don't really drink at Christmas.
I drink when we go out, which is never.
Maybe we should start.
We'd be so fun.
Savage saying that passport scandal is something else. Well, now I'm gonna have to look into it. Let me see here. I know I scroll fast, but we have to get caught up with the chat. We have to get caught up with the chat. Hang on. What do you think of Rebel News? I like them.
They're not as good as they used to be.
They've lost a bit of the charm and appeal that they used to have. However, I've met a number of people from Rebel News, and they're very nice people. I applaud their efforts with again the Democracy Fund, everything they're doing to help people. Ezra Levant, from what I understand, is a very generous man. Again, I've never met him in person, although he has heard of the channel. He knows who I am. I know who he is. We just haven't crossed paths yet, but I like them. I've got no problem with Rebel News. Have you heard about the bird? Because the bird is the word.
No, Billy.
It's have you tried twisted tea? I think you have, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
Wax on or wax off?
Wax off.
Well, depends how many girls are in the room. It's always good to wax off. Are you guys pro-gun, and what do you think of a firearms ban? You're going to get two very different answers. I am very, very pro-gun. In fact, I've told Mrs. Fringe if we ever move to the United States, that's the first thing I'm picking up.
Not in my house. She
is not a pro-gun advocate. It's let's Let's see what else we got
I'm
here.
curious which child's trying to come down here.
They always try to break in,
Yeah.
don't they? Do you like shortbread? Let me tell you something.
Whipped shortbread is amazing.
Part of the reason Unacceptable Fringe looks the way he does is because Mrs. Fringe every Christmas
I can bake.
makes shortbread cookies.
I make a lot of cookies.
That you put those cookies down. Those are my cookies.
Sugar cookies are the best, though.
The sugar cookies too. Yeah, it's
it's a little one.
Being Santa Claus in this house is tough. Let me tell you. Did you see that Alexa Lavoie got hit by the protesters' flag? They did nothing. Yes, we did see that. Definitely unfortunate. Carol, $2 super chat. Love your channel. I love that you love the channel, Carol. Thank you.
Thanks for watching.
For the $2 super chat. What do you think about the Cybertruck look? Two different answers again. Two different answers. I like the Cybertruck. I like the interior. I don't like the exterior, but I would totally buy one if I had the money to throw away.
I would no.
I'd buy one just to piss you off.
Yeah, I think you would. You would definitely buy one just to piss me off, and I would definitely be pissed off.
Did you ever try lick a chick chicken? I've licked a few chicks, but never tried lick a chick chicken. I've never heard of it. Mike gifting 1 Unacceptable Fringe membership to the Patriots Club. Good luck to whoever is in there. We're about to do our draw. Let me catch up again to the chat. I'm going to scroll down as quick as I can here. I don't see any question marks. So on that point, ladies and gents, let's get into the draw. Let me pull up my handy dandy draw wheel, and we'll see. Hang on, we'll have to sign in. I should have had this prepared in advance.
Should have.
I didn't anticipate kids trying to break down the door.
I'm gonna go open the door while you do this real quick.
And we'll get into each of these calendars that we're going to gift off. Again, you guys have a few minutes in to get in as a member. If you want to support the channel, join the Patriots Club. We're going to do the draw. I'm going to pull it up right now. I have a randomizer set to pull draws. Now, again, in order to win the calendar, you must. How many calendars do we have? First off, let's get it out here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 calendars we're going to be drawing here tonight. One of each. And I'll be shipping them out. I'll be giving you guys instructions on how to get your calendars. You must be in the stream to claim your prize. So on that note, ladies and gents, I'm going to hit the randomizer. We're going to get somebody here is going to win. Well, 6 people here are going to win one of these amazing calendars from Calendars That Curse. First winner. Oh my goodness. First winner is Colin P. Colin P has won the F Trudeau calendar. I only say that because I know he wanted to win that calendar. He mentioned it at the beginning of the stream. Colin P. Congratulations. Tammy becoming a new member. Carson gifting out 5 Unacceptable Fringe memberships. Those names have now been added to the draws for the other 5 calendars. So Colin P., congratulations. I know you're in the chat. I know you're driving. So here's what I'm going to let you know, Colin P. I'll post it up right now for all future draws. Hang on one second. Anybody whose name is drawn tonight, send me your shipping information to unacceptablefringeyt@gmail.com. That's unacceptablefringeyoutube@gmail.com. So unacceptablefringeyt@gmail.com. Send me your shipping information. Let me know which calendar you won. For Colin, it was the F Trudeau calendar. So congratulations, Colin P. Send me an email for that. And again, I will get that shipped out this week. DHL, UPS, I'll figure out something. The next one we have is called a trad wife calendar. Now, this is one that does not curse. This is one that is more clean, but it's got some funny ones in here, like this one that says, "No one does womanhood like a biological man." It's got some funny months on it. And again, this is a great one. So we're going to do a draw for the trad wife calendar. Let's hit the old randomizer and see who we pull up here. Mr. Steal Your Blocks. Mr. Steal Your Blocks is the winner of the trad wife calendar. Is Mr. Steal Your Blocks in the chat? Colin saying, oh, good, F, yeah. Colin, email over here at the bottom, unacceptablefringeyt@gmail.com. I'll keep that address up for anybody who wins. Mr. Steal Your Blocks is getting Colin won the F Trudeau calendar. That's in the drawer here.
Okay.
Trad Wife calendar is going to Mr. Steal Your Blocks. I hope Mr. Steal Your Blocks is in here. If I don't see Mr. Steal Your Blocks, I'm going to give it another minute for him to chime in. If we don't see Mr. Steal Your Blocks in here, we'll redraw. So we'll see if that pops in. Again, guys, if you win any of the draws, unacceptablefringeyt@gmail.com. Send me your full name and shipping address.
Haven't seen him in here tonight.
Mike TV Dub says he hasn't seen Mr. Steal Your Blocks. I apologize because, I mean, he's gifted a ton of memberships on the channels too. So let's do a redraw, I guess. Hang on, it's taking its time to load here. Becca CRI has won the Trad Wife calendar on the redraw. Is that Becca C? Is that the Becca C we saw in the chat tonight? Becca CRI. It looks like the same profile picture. Becca has won the Trad Wife calendar. Yeah, my apologies to Mr. Steal Your Blocks. Is Becca still in the chat? I need to see you guys acknowledge in the chat in order to, or else we got to redraw. Did we see, is Becca still in here? I'm sorry, guys, if this is going to take time. The rules are the rules. We have to make sure we follow the rules so that it's fair for everybody. I'd hate to draw constantly for people and then nobody claims and then we got to do it all over again. Becca is here. There's Becca. Okay, Becca, you have won the Trad Wife calendar. Email again down here at the bottom, unacceptablefringeyt@gmail.com. It's on your screen. Send me an email with your full shipping information and we will get that to you. The next calendar up for grabs, ladies and gentlemen, is a Freedom calendar. I got to get it more in the photo here, more in the screen. Freedom calendar. It is a very patriotic calendar. A lot of good freedom quotes in here. And different stories in here. A great calendar. Let's hit the randomizer. Let's get somebody in here and find out who is going to be the winner of the Freedom calendar. Julia C. has won the Freedom calendar. Julia, are you in the chat? Is Julia C. in the chat tonight? Can somebody let us know if Julia's in there? Well, can Julia let us know if Julia's in the chat? If Julia C is in the chat, you have just won our Freedom calendar. Julia C is in the chat. There you go. Julia C, congratulations. You have won the Freedom calendar from Calendars That Curse. Again, we will ship that out. Make sure you email. The email address is at the bottom of the screen. Again, just a reminder, unacceptablefringeyt@gmail.com. Let's start up the next one. The Don't F with Parents calendar. This is a good one. I love this one. I can't really show any of the months on the stream, but it's a good one. Trust me. Let's get it's the best. These are the best calendars ever. Trust me. They're great deals. Let's get it going. Let's get the old. Hang on. Why does it always lag like this?
I don't know. I think the chat's lagging too. So
is the chat lagging too?
Yeah.
It's sorry, guys. I got to hit it again. It's lagging. Savage Silence. I just saw him in the chat too. Savage Silence. You are the winner of the Don't F with Parents calendar. Savage Silence. If you want to chime in and let us know you're still here. You are the Don't F with Parents calendar. Congratulations to Savage Silence. There he is. OMG. There you go. Congratulations. You are the winner of the Don't F with Parents calendar, and we're gonna get that out to you. Again, make sure to email all of your shipping information, name and address, to unacceptablefringeyt@gmail.com. Let me know that you won that calendar, and I will ship it out to you. If you guys don't tell me which calendar you won, boy, it's really going to get screwy and messed up, and I don't want anybody to get lost in translation
So they
on that
have
one.
to remember, not you. Oh, that
They have to
works.
remember it's not on me. It's not on me. It can't be on me. I can't do that. Let's draw the next one. What's the next calendar we have up for draft? The F climate change calendar. This is a great one. You guys are going to love this this one. This is a great calendar. Absolutely one of my favorites. Let's do our draw. Let's skip the button.
Need to get comfy again.
Daphne Devine.
Is she on tonight?
Daphne Devine. Is she in the chat? I thought I saw Daphne pop into the chat. Is Daphne Devine in the chat? She just got the F climate change calendar. Congratulations, Daphne. If you're in the chat, you are the winner of the F climate change calendar. Chime in. Let us know you're still here, and I will get that out to you ASAP. There's Daphne. She's in the chat. There we go.
Oh, hell yeah.
Congratulations, Daphne. You're the winner of the F climate change calendar. We'll get that shipped out.
More.
We got one more. Give me 1 second here. Let's get this wheel started up again.
It's past my bedtime.
Why does this lag like this? Hang on, it's lagging again. It's trying to load, guys. What's the last calendar we have up for grabs while it's doing this? The What the F is happening in Canada. All right, let's go like that. What the F is happening in Canada calendar. We've got it coming up. Here we go. Danielle Sweeney. Danielle Sweeney, are you in the chat? The Wheel of Merch. Don't worry, Julia. I'll check it all out. Is Danielle Sweeney in the chat? I'll give it a few seconds. If we don't see Danielle chime into the chat, we'll redraw. Big congratulations to Danielle if she has the What the F is happening in Canada. Again, guys, make sure to enter in your emails which calendar you won, so that I know which one to send you, because
Derek
again,
is not going to remember.
I'd probably have to come back and rewatch the stream and figure it out at that point. I don't see Danielle chiming in. I will give it another 15 or 20 seconds. If we don't see Danielle chime in, we'll have to redraw. Still no snow here in Florida, says Billy Mustang.
Awesome.
I'm so happy for you. I mean, that's nobody wants to be cold.
Come out here. We've
right?
got enough.
I don't see Danielle Sweeney chiming in.
No.
It's unfortunate. We'll have to redraw.
Sorry, Danielle.
Sorry, Danielle. Let's hit that old button again. Oh, it doesn't look like it's lagging this time. Trudeau's a commie. Wins the What the F is happening in Canada 2025 calendars. There you go. Trudeau's a commie. I thought.
Is he on there tonight?
I seen him earlier in the chat saying that he was listening. Trudeau's a commie. Are you still in the chat? If Trudeau's a commie's here, then we're all done with our draws. We're all set. I'll give it again another 30 to 45 seconds. If we don't see him in here, we'll move along. We'll redraw again. There's Steve jumping in.
I don't know.
Trudeau's a commie. I'm not seeing him in the chat
He
here.
may have left. Or is he busy driving?
He might be driving, and I don't want him to text and drive. He's here, says Daphne. Is he here? Because I thought I saw him in the chat not too long ago. Let me scroll up. There he is right there.
There
he chimed in 2 minutes ago. So technically he's here. He's coming in, says Daphne. He's on his way. Okay. So he was here. He was here 2 minutes ago. I know he's driving, so I don't want people saying, "Oh, you're stretching the rules for him." I just don't want anybody to get into an accident or do anything. Yeah, Terry Lee saying he's in as well. It's yeah. Congratulations to Trudeau Zakami for winning the "What the F is happening in Canada" calendar. There he is. I'm here. There we go. Now I don't have to feel bad. The "What the F is happening in Canada" calendar. Trudeau Zakami, congratulations. Happy to see that you guys all won your calendars tonight. Again, email me at unacceptablefringeyt@gmail.com with your full shipping address, name, and the calendar that you won on draw tonight. I'll get them shipped out this week for you. I hope you guys enjoy them. They're definitely worth a laugh. On that note, while Steve crashes the stream, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank each and every one of you who came into the stream tonight. Everybody for your super chats. Let's get everybody out of the way here. Luca, Savage Silence, Romanian Patriot, Ken K, Murica, Dark Lady, Neptune Rain 93, Bryce, Kulkin, Colin P, Carol Mungar, Mike, Tammy Beck, Carson Sexsmith. Thank you to all of you for your memberships, your super chats, your gift giving tonight here on the channel. Congratulations again to all 6 Patriots Club members who won a calendar tonight. I hope you guys enjoy that. Keep your eyes peeled this weekend. I have more great videos coming this way for you guys to enjoy while it's cold outside. Make sure you stay warm this weekend. Look after each other and look after yourselves. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have an excellent weekend. And I will catch you on the next one. For myself and Mrs. Fringe, have a great night, everybody.
Have a good night.